Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby who?
Abby normal.
This is the Abby Normal Podcast, here to tell you that you're weird and that's normal.
It's like, how do you become such good friends with people who you only work with for 5 hours a day? It's because you spend those 5 hours planning what you're going to do after work, and then you spend the next day talking about what happened the night before at whatever party or bar or trip.
Can you imagine if we had social media or just cameras?
Nope.
No, it's a literal nightmare that there would be documentation of anything I did between the ages of 15 and 35.
So true. I think about that all the time. I'm so glad
That we would be like at Airways, like posting to our stories, like, oh, look at us, you know?
We put the couch on the diving board. We're going to get fired tomorrow.
It's a nightmare. We're going to get fired tomorrow.
so bad.
Welcome back to these tan tales about my 10 summers of lifeguarding. What we get to explore today are those after-hours adventures that Vicky mentioned. What happened after the pool was closed? Because the fun definitely didn't conclude at 6 o'clock. Like, what is that Lifeguard movie with Kristen Bell?
I don't know, but it's really traumatizing.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
I don't recommend
No, and
it.
it's not anywhere near, like, I feel like our job was more like the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds and how it shows, like,
Right, yes,
how they all, like, party
exactly.
together after work and, like, all
Right.
the shenanigans they get up to at work. It was much more like
And
Waiting.
Flair. Like,
And
we had
Flair.
Flair. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We had things like the inside jokes, like the phantom shitter.
Even our loved ones didn't understand that this wasn't just a job. It was a lifestyle.
We hung out like every night, and I remember your boyfriend at the time saying, "Don't you guys get sick of each other? You work together all day, and then you guys hang out every day after work." He's like, "Don't you guys get sick of each other?" And you're like, "No." Because it was like summer camp.
Right.
It was like summer camp.
We did a lot of partying and weekend trips all together. And then what happens, team?
We almost die.
Correct. We'll get to those adventures, but the party atmosphere started at the pool. Part of our job was throwing a splash bash for the community each summer.
There was definite pool pride.
Oh, yeah.
Even like the managers' meetings, just people talking mess about their pools and like really trying to, make the summer fiesta or splash bash or whatever it was at the end of the year, like make theirs better than everybody else.
Every year we would do our special event, and we like kind of took it pretty seriously. Like our special event theme, I remember one year we did outer space, and we all did the Men in Black dance, all the lifeguards. And we hung like planets that we painted over the pool.
I remember a luau. Like, did a luau. I remember the lays. Because that was like the easy go-to event for anything, right?
Yeah, the city would bring all of that. They would bring grills over and everything. Yeah, I think it was all free too, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Like people didn't have to like pay to get in or whatever.
And we'd have to put the whole thing on with donations.
Every year we had some crazy party that we threw, going around town, getting donations, sometimes with the kids too. We had like a weird relationship with the kids. Like some of the kids like got in the car with us and went home, and then we had lunch or something.
Right, like how crazy was it that we just could do that kind of stuff?
Just steal children
Yeah,
and
just
like take them home.
Let's go.
Not a big deal.
Not back then. Now it's like go to jail.
Yeah. 90% of the budget for these parties was funded by businesses in the community. Hot dogs, drinks, decorations, raffle items. And we're kind of shocked now by how we went about getting those donations. Not the pool kids hanging around and tagging along with us part. That was normal. More the logistics of it. We walked our asses in our swimsuits to businesses.
We're soliciting you for a donation. How do you do? Please donate to our event. And they did.
They give us all the hot dogs, all the hamburgers, all the chips, all the soda, all the popsicles.
Food Max gave us a gift certificate. We had like $500 like we could spend there.
And we would do like a raffle situation. We would have like a bike or, you know, whatever from like different businesses that would give stuff away.
When you look back on it, you need to put on a special event and get donations. We're like, what? Okay.
And then we would make a big poster and put all their names on it.
Yeah, we would be like, thank you, Food Max. And there would just be like,
it's fine.
there would just be like a poster.
I don't think that would work today.
I feel like it wouldn't. Like, I feel like with the internet, like, they'd be like, go online and request
that
it.
little circle with the R in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like TM. This was low budget to the max. And also, they were awesome. We'd get like 100+ kids and families who came for an evening swim and music and free dinner. Plus, we learned about business stuff.
It's the first time I learned about a tax ID number in my life, though.
Yes,
because we did have the City of Fresno tax ID number.
We did, and they were like, well, do you have the form with the thing in it? And yeah, they would give us all those forms to pass out to ask for donations.
And we had a sense of pride that bonded us.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was also part of it. Like, there was so much joy in getting to, like, create this. And I think you became a part of this community that also you ended up becoming this, like, little family with your pool and then the community with that pool. And then you just ended up doing all this fun stuff over the summer.
Here's Vicky's take on the whole thing.
So we did a lot of good.
Yeah.
So we taught kids how to swim.
Yeah.
We served as
so many kids.
Well,
Their parents worked, probably.
Yes.
we did so much good, and then one night we took a picture in our swimsuits with cookies over our nipples and called it Milk and Cookies. And somebody has these pictures.
I might have that picture, because I was the only one carrying around an actual camera in those days. I'll see if I can find it for you guys. But that's a good segue into what happened after hours. After we'd done our public service of getting donations for a community event and raffled bikes to neighborhood kids and grilled hot dogs and painted planets on cardboard to hang around the pool, we went to house parties and the bar and our own theme parties.
So there were, of course, the house parties, right? Everyone was home from college for the summer, and whoever's parents went out of town, all the lifeguards would mob on their house that night, pool their money together, send someone who was over 21. And there was really no drinking and driving because everyone just slept wherever.
Yep.
Like we would just, that was kind of lifeguard culture.
Yeah.
Like it was
Stayed
almost
the night
like
wherever
summer.
you were.
Wherever you were, right?
Yeah, it was almost like summer camp in that we worked together lifeguarding all day.
Slept together
And
all
then
night.
it was like, where are we all going tonight? Where's the party
Where are
at?
we gonna
Then
sleep?
we'd get dressed for the party if it was a theme or something, you know. Or we would just put on, I mean, we live in Fresno. It's over 100 degrees most of the summer.
Right.
So like putting on clothes meant putting on a denim mini skirt and a halter top, which was really not much more clothes than we were wearing to begin with.
Right.
You know, wash the chlorine off and head out for the night, right? Then get drunk, hook up, and then spend the night, get home the next day. That was like a good portion of like lifeguarding 16 to 21. But then once we started getting the more like over 21, we didn't want to, like once you're a pool manager and head guard, you don't really want to party with the kids, with like the lifeguards, like the high school kids. Like, so then when we got older, that's when we met. Tina and I were 20. And Abby was 22, so she could buy alcohol, but we couldn't yet. So I turned 21 the first month that we started lifeguarding together in June. So then
Yes.
we
Oh
could
my
start going to
God.
the bars
Yes.
together.
Oh my
So
God. And
we
then Teen, you were like a month later.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we had graduated from going to the house parties. And then we would go to the house parties that were like the older people. And then
Right.
we would go to the bars
Right.
after work. So there was a bar near our pool where we would go in our swimsuits and spend way too much time.
I remember when it was TGI Fridays, and I think that they would have those reggae nights, and we would go, and all the lifeguard peeps would be there. Yeah.
That's right.
And then we also like started themed parties. The pirate party was one of my favorites. I made a plank out of cardboard and made people walk the plank. That was a good one. Not appropriate in this day and age. People don't have parties like this, but we had a white trash party.
Right.
But that's where Teen met her husband.
That's right. Okay, tell us the story about you meeting your husband at a lifeguard party, basically.
Oh my god.
What was your costume for this party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But it
like
was great.
leopard print
Yeah.
dress.
What do you call that dress?
Yeah,
A
like
tube
dress.
dress.
Tube
It was
dress.
just like, hey, this is a dress. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah.
Like I wore it a bunch of times before
It was cute.
the party, and then I stuck a pregnant belly underneath it.
Right. And you had curlers.
Yeah.
And curlers.
And
that's
curlers. It was,
Yeah.
And big fluffy slippers.
Oh yeah.
It was so cute. You had like big
It
pink
was
fluffy slippers.
Right. No man could resist that.
Irresistible.
Yeah.
And here we are 20 years later.
These epic theme parties we threw when we were older, in our mid-20s. But going to lifeguard parties started at higher when we were 16. Here's Tanya.
I remember we all went to some house. We were 16, but it was away with Scott somewhere, and I'm pretty sure what was going on. I don't know why I remember that.
Okay, also, Tanya, didn't we sneak out of your house to go to that party?
I think I remember that.
I don't
I
know.
remember-
Did we?
First of all, that party was at house because it was like a block from your house, and I'm pretty sure we snuck out.
I don't remember sneaking out of my house. It was hard to sneak out of my house.
Maybe we lied and we were like, we're walking to the 7-Eleven or whatever, and we walked to Lee's house.
I don't know. It could be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I cut this guy's name out because he was our boss. It was a long time ago, but I don't want to slander him.
Right. I mean, I went to several parties at my boss's houses. And then when I was the boss, then I continued that. The only thing I didn't continue that the older lifeguards did was they had a bong at the first pool that I worked at. We would smoke. We had a smoke rotation. That was a station.
And look, the transition period from high school to college with friends in both groups is awkward with some gray areas.
My first party was at this guy's house who was in his 20s, who I think was my volleyball coach as well. So like, it was weird because like I crossed a boundary for him because I had been one of his volleyball players.
Right.
And I was at a party at his house
Right.
drinking.
Yeah.
I was Vicky's
Right.
water polo coach, 6 months
Right.
older than her, ended up becoming her friend. And like, that was at least a little bit better.
Well, yeah. Have you watched Never Have I Ever, Mindy Kaling's show?
Yes, only the first season though.
Okay. First of all, so good.
Yes.
Second of all, on the latest season, her ex-boyfriend who graduated comes back and coaches swimming. And there's this great scene that's just perfection of like him accidentally throwing a party, because he has like high school friends.
Yeah.
And then other high school students start coming, and suddenly he's in this position that he didn't intend, that is not right, which is he's got all these high school students there like drinking.
Right.
It was such a great scene because we've seen those
absolutely.
those situations like play out.
That happened.
And
All of that happened.
Yeah, and it's a mental shift that you have to make as far as like what's okay and what's not, you know.
Like, oh crap, no, I'm a grown up now.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. I mean, especially it's one thing working for the city of Fresno, right? But if you're like teaching at a school, you're going to get yourself in some real shit. So don't do that.
Do not do that. We do not condone that.
Outside of house parties, we were also looking for weekend adventure. Ooh, all the camping trips. Oh my God, so many. Oh my God, we have so many. Yes, camping was a big one. Here's Vicky's theory on why it was the activity for lifeguards.
So lifeguards love to camp. I don't know what it is, but I think it's because they're the water factor.
Of
like
course.
we would all go after work.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Spend the night Saturday night and then drive home Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, the cops were always called on us because we'd be loud in the campground.
Now we're remembering all the lifeguards we camped with that we haven't seen in 20 years. I hope they're good.
What about that poor girl who fell on her face without her hands going down and she split her eye open because we were always going down to the lake in the middle of the night to jump in and skinny dip.
Of course. Yeah, because skinny dipping is the most fun to lifeguards who have to wear swimsuits during the day. So, like, skinny dipping is just like a dip away from that.
And we're like walking in the forest, going down to the lake, going swimming at night. I remember campfires and way too much alcohol and probably not being of age.
And we had to have been so loud.
So loud.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Tina and I, our air mattress ran out of air in the middle of the night. So the next day we decided it was a floaty. Do you remember this? And then we were floating on it in Shaver. And then a couple times we did beach camping in Pismo.
Yes.
So, but that was just like us.
And the baby lifeguards.
And the baby lifeguards, yeah.
Did you do any of the camping trips?
No comment.
You went. Share.
I'm not sure if I. Okay, I think the videotape has been destroyed.
Bro,
So,
it was
I mean-
20 years ago. Nobody cares now.
Oh yeah, statute of limitations.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we had these parties. We went out, and some of the lifeguards weren't quite of age, and I'm sitting there with a videotape, like making a video, capturing all the nonsense going on. People blowing, taking all their tequila and blowing into the fire, making these huge balls of fire. But it would capture all the younger lifeguards as well.
Right.
And somehow that videotape, it was Heather's video camera and videotape.
Oh.
And she drove off with it, and we're like, shit, we gotta get it back.
The evidence.
Yeah.
The evidence is going away. Crap. So we shot our pants for quite a while.
Pre-social media.
Well,
it
the
never
problem
happened.
was that there was some higher ups there as well that could have
Right.
gotten some major trouble.
Well, there always were higher ups.
Yeah.
Like,
they started this.
And the fact that, like, we never got in trouble for stuff, like, just thank you, universe, for giving. Yeah, we had so much fun. And also, thank God none of it was recorded.
Legendary camping trips of which there is no video evidence. If we weren't in a lake under the moonlight, we would find a public pool to access after dark.
Was it because we broke into another pool and put the couch from their office on their diving board?
Oh.
Was it because we were accused of a crime that we will not discuss?
We're calling it breaking in, but for at least half of these, we had the keys.
I mean, you got 20-year-olds with keys to pools.
Right,
It's
like,
summer
obviously we're gonna
in
go.
Fresno.
I mean, I remember when I was in high school, we would break into the Clovis West pool.
Yeah, I did it too.
Did you? Yeah. So you had this like whole thing where you had to like slide under the lasers to like get in to use a diving board, and you can go in at midnight and dive, and it's like so magical.
That's funny that we used to skateboard there.
Yeah.
And then we'd break into the pool.
No, I always broke into Clovis West, jump off platforms.
And we did Airways.
Yeah.
Airways was easy. I feel like they didn't even have security out there.
Except they had the Air National Guard directly across from it.
They were not concerned.
Tanya, do you remember going to swim at Airways after hours?
Oh, I remember. Breaking in, going into the office, going on the roof. Oh my gosh.
Jumping on the diving board. And then we stayed, we might have done that multiple times. We slept there one night, right?
I think so. I remember that summer for sure.
Good times, good times. Did we put a couch on the Airways diving board?
Oh, there was a couch.
There was a couch in the office that was like
In
the
the
dirtiest
office.
thing that has ever been in existence. We did a lot of night swimming at pools we shouldn't have been at. And a couple times, things didn't go as planned. Here's one.
We had a pool at the house we were at.
Oh, right. We did. But there was a rat in
There was a
it.
rat in it.
A rat had fallen in it.
A rat! And however, we knew how chlorine worked and it was totally fine, is what I was telling everyone.
Except it was a big ass rat.
It was
kind of
gross. It was gross. Yeah, that's true.
A dead rat in her pool?
It was a dead rat in our pool.
Yeah.
We were trying to be responsible. We were going to go swimming at her house. But once we found the rat mouse, nobody wanted to go in the pool. Like, these people hadn't been around pools that had full-on logs of poop in them. I'm so sure.
Correct.
So we all decided that
we
we're going to...
decided to be like squeamish
Yeah.
at that moment.
I think it was just, I don't know, exciting about doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
We were like, it's okay. We have keys to another pool. That's just down the street.
Yeah.
Totally fine. And we were like jumping in. I'm pretty sure I did not have a shirt on. I was staying very close to Tamara. Because I was like, if anybody's going to protect me, it's going to be her.
Correct.
But a lot of people didn't have their suits. So there was a lot of boobies.
We set the alarm off. And we were like,
what did you
oh
feel?
shit. Like, let's get out of the pool and start running. And Tamara said, run. And I said, okay. And we ran. And then somebody said, there's a paddy wagon there. Ready to pick you guys up.
The runners come back to me at the house. Corey had gotten there by then, our sober friend who had just gotten off work. I was drunk, but by myself. And she's like, why are you by yourself? And I'm like, our friends are up to no good. And then at that very moment, come running in a half naked and very wet Abby and Tam and Teen all come in wet and naked and shouting about the police.
Everybody was talking so loud and so fast.
So if you guys had not run, you would have gone to jail. Yes, you guys were just
100%.
I don't know. It's kid shit, right? Like, we did this kid shit from beginning when we were like 16 until then. Like,
As kids, I ran from the cops all the time because I skateboarded.
Yeah.
And because I went to parties.
right.
Because every party I was at, the cops would get there and I could jump a fence. So you're gonna go. Because if you've been drinking or smoking or anything, they were gonna arrest you for just being there.
Even as a kid who like didn't drink or smoke, like we were constantly running from the cops. Like we would go out TPing.
Yep.
We would TP all the time, and we got picked up by the cops like my sophomore year teepeeing, and they had to like distribute us to our parents. And my parents like knew we were out teepeeing. Like we weren't even doing anything like quote destructive, right? Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Terry used to take us out teepeeing all the time when I was a kid, and she taught me how to run from the cops. And then when I got into high school and was going to parties and the cops would come, of course I'm gonna run. You know, we learned to run and then skateboarding. Like anywhere you'd go to skateboard, you're not even doing any damage.
No,
you're just like
so ridiculous.
you're just like literally skateboarding around, but they don't want you there because of liability reasons.
Yeah.
Somebody falls and hurts themselves, blah blah blah. But like that's why they have those stickers that say like skateboarding is not a crime, because we would just be running from the cops.
That was the 90s. Anyway, apparently we need a bumper sticker that says night swimming is not a crime. But this is not the only mistake we made in the pursuit of fun.
I do feel like lifeguarding gave you like this sense of
I cannot drown.
I cannot drown. I know how to deal with water. I can handle all situations. False sense of security.
Which is not accurate.
It's just not true. Absolutely not. Pools and rivers, very different.
Our proven ability to avert security does not translate to avoiding the power of nature. We get in the water with a bunch of lifeguards. And then what happens, team?
We almost die.
Correct. We almost perish, yes.
Oh, I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life.
We decided to go floating down the Kings River.
It was supposed to be a lazy river situation. And it turned out that we were not as good at floating as we thought. So we decide that we're going to do this. Nice sunny day. Everything is going well. We get there. Our big group of, I don't know how many people were there. 10. Inflate all of our Walmart purchased rafts.
Right.
Tie them together to create a floating island. And we get onto the river. It's going nice and slow. Everything looks good. We have our ice chest tied up. Everything's floating. Beverages are going.
I'm thinking, okay, this is a nice little thing.
And then all of a sudden, the river is going very fast, and there's like
Rapids.
And the river starts to pick up, and there's a big, wide open section on the right. And it looks like cheerful, birds are chirping. That is the direction that you want to go. And then on the left, there's a small, narrowed area of the river where it looks like overgrown and dark and dangerous.
Yes.
And we immediately get sucked over to the left.
Yeah. It was like sucking you under like, toward that island area.
And then all of a sudden it was just like, came out of nowhere. Everything just started going wonky.
Then as we're trying to kind of keep away from the thorn bushes that are sticking out and like the low-hanging trees, rafts start popping and people start going under the water.
Yeah.
It's yard sale. Everything is everywhere. And people are kind of floating by me. I'm reaching out. I'm trying to grab people. I'm trying to like stable myself on this branch with a foot and grab hold of people.
I remember Teen going underwater and kind of like struggling to bring her up and understanding like the flow of the water. Good. Yeah, the power of the water pushing you down. That my like power is not going to bring you up. Like I remember you going down and watching you and being like, oh my God, I could lose Teen right now.
I remember somebody saying like, oh my God, I thought Teen died, but then I saw her little hand go up and she had like grabbed the ice chest.
You don't remember being underwater?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm. And you know what? It's probably a good thing that I was probably already 2 or 3 beers deep.
Right.
I just went with it.
If you had struggled?
Yeah, like it's probably a good thing I wasn't sober because I probably would have like
like panic.
like fighted again, but it was just like, oh, okay, I'm under the water, and then
Teen's one hand come up out of the water.
the ice chest that we had, because that was like somewhere floating in the mix.
I don't even remember how we ended up getting out. It was kind of a free-for-all, just swim to the side and hope for the best.
We're probably talking 20 seconds
Yeah.
for us to all be totally f***ed off and then have to walk home. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, the trip is over
And then
in half a minute.
I ended up what felt like a mile down the river and had to walk back up the river through all the bushes and everything, no shoes, and just at one point I'm just picking things up that are kind of floating by the river, you know, the river's edge, and get back and everyone's just like, that was horrible. Please never again. Day ruined. I think we sat there and drank a beer and then we're like, let's just leave.
had like 2 beers that we had retrieved from
Yeah.
the river
Oh my
because
gosh.
everything else had floated away.
And then all of a sudden we were like on the side. Nobody had phones with them,
No.
but we must have had disposable cameras because somebody was taking pictures with a disposable camera.
Right.
And I remember us thinking after we got the film developed, it looked like pictures from the 70s
Yes.
because they were all like waterlogged and like weird looking.
So how do lifeguards who know the dangers of water get themselves into this mess?
They probably went at the end of summer.
Right, we
And
couldn't
you
find
guys
So
went
my
early.
point is,
Right.
I feel like we did our research. We did do our research.
We had to have. I mean, we didn't pick it out of thin air.
No, like it was like the perfect storm. Like
Well, Christine claims we had done our research, talked to several people who had floated this river before, and got MapQuest directions to this location. There was one warning sign that we missed, though.
a year ago, and he like told us where to go.
But as we were floating down, I remember like 2 men like fishing or something that were yelling at us in
Yes.
Spanish.
Yes.
And I did not understand what they were saying.
No.
But they were basically warning us like
get
muerte,
stopped.
Muerte por delante.
muerte, like coming very soon for you. They were trying to warn us and we did not understand because we did not speak Spanish.
Muerte por delante. Muerte por delante.
We've been much more cautious about rivers since this floating incident, but we didn't give up on it.
None of us ever wanted to go to a river again.
No.
No.
We were traumatized. Even the next time we went just as a friend group, Teen wore her life jacket. But then we went the next year.
And it was so fun.
And we went
And it
to
was
the
so
Kings
fun
River.
and chill.
Nobody
And we
died.
started
And
further
remember we
down.
like went to
Yes, and it
that
was
weird
very
like
fun.
river bar.
Yes.
We got so drunk.
Highly recommend floating, but don't start farther up.
No.
No.
Ask.
Start at the river bar.
Yes, do float and do research and ask locals who are also floating in that area. Look
Right,
for an area
right.
where other people are floating.
Right. And if you're like concerned about your swimming abilities, wear a life
Jacket. Yes.
Though common for lazy river floating, this podcast does not recommend alcohol consumption while engaging in water play. I bet in many ways lifeguarding wasn't different than other jobs that attract a young staff. I'm sure shenanigans ensue with all groups of youngsters who have limited responsibility. The pre-kids and pre-student loan days. But I do think the amount of hours we spent together, especially in a concentrated summer period, is unique, and that it doesn't seem normal to everyone. One time I had a bunch of lifeguards over to my parents' house when they were out of town. I told them this was happening, but they were big mad when they came home and had a bunch of kids asleep all over the living room. I reminded Vicky about this. And she was like, there's people sleeping at my house. And I'm like, it's not a big deal.
It's very normal. It's what we do every night.
Right. And what you're saying, like, demonstrates to me, like, why my mindset was like, this is totally normal because this is what we did for, like, years.
Yeah, it was lifeguard culture. Like, I would like to make it very clear there was no hooking. That night was so PG. We just sat around and talked. We played cards.
Yeah.
Like, basically, we did at the parties exactly what we did at work.
Exactly.
Just later.
And we had alcohol.
Yeah.
Very PG.
It was very PG.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, we mobbed on all of our parents' houses because we were in college and we were home for the summer.
I think my mom has forgiven me for that and for letting my 16-year-old sister drink a wine cooler. Regardless, yeah, we didn't create the culture.
Right.
And if I look back, like, do I think it was a bad one? Like, no, I actually don't.
I had a really great experience and I met my best friends for my whole life there.
No complaints. We had a lot of fun with some harrowing adventures sprinkled on top. Join us next time to explore what happened after our years of pool lifeguarding with a constant first responder mindset and a weird confidence plus anxiety combo.
And they said if there's a shark attack, you have to paddle out and punch the shark in the nose until it lets go of the victim.